All right, thanks for joining me today on Discover My Dividends, and this is my investment challenge where I'm going to be sharing with you how the last week went. So that's August, 18th to the 22nd, and slightly better than last week, but still I am maybe just a little bit off of where I'd like to be. So let's take a look here. All right, so starting in, let's see, now I can't get this to work for some reason. There we go. All right, so looking at our activity from the last week, if I go back to Monday, ATD was a sell, and I just bought that on Friday, so this was a 24-hour buy sell, and that's actually what I'm looking for. Then I went ahead and bought ARX, which I did get a buy on the 18th and a sell on the 21st. So that's really good there. Then I got a DS buy on the 19th, sold it on the 20th, and I like that as well. So that's a 24-hour again. Now that wasn't very big, but then I went ahead and got a sell for PPL on, what was that, I guess that's the 22nd, so on Friday, and I've been holding that for a while, so I'm really happy to have gotten one of those sells. I think I'm still holding 2 more shares, if I remember correctly. Now, I'm not an advisor, so nothing on here is advice. This is simply just sharing with you how I'm going from $50 to $1 million to reach my $1 million investment challenge. So don't take any of this as advice for your portfolio. See an advisor if you're needing assistance. And then finally, I went back to ATD, and the reason I bought ATD is, well, it's down right now compared to where it's kind of popped up to. So it's been having these little spikes, and this year's been kind of flat for it, where it's had consistent growth in the past. They recently popped out of trying to purchase 7 at I, the 7-Eleven ownership in Japan, so that has changed things for them there. All right, so right now I have available cash of $24.48, and so that is not extremely high, but there might be a couple shares that I might be able to buy, although the stocks on my list there below this amount are actually a little bit high for right now, so I'm not really looking at purchasing into any one of them. But my account balance is up to $622.08. I recently had some cash influx, which is basically every 2 weeks is what I do, and so I put that $25 in there. So again, the $50 a month. And if you look on Friday, had a slight increase, 0.5%, and then the last week's 1.5%. I'd like to be closer to 4 to achieve my goal, but really right now that is half decent. Now if you look at the week, actually there is a little bit of an incline from after I put the $25 in, that steep upward jump. There is an incline, so you can see there was some increase. The past month is flat. I was down for a while, but I'm actually above water again. So we'll go to 3 months, 10%, and here the year to date is now 16, just over 16%. So that is actually improved over where I was sitting last week. So that is good. But the weekly is really what I'm looking at 1.59%. So that is a decent amount this week. I did have a few more buys and sells, and so that is positive, but not nearly to the number I'd like. And I find that I'm purchasing a little bit early, holding stocks a little bit too late. So I hope, seeing that some of those buys and sells were 24 hours, that has changed for me. So I'm starting to get a little bit better, grip on where it is I want to jump in. They say never, try and catch a falling knife. I've been doing that too often, right? So I need to wait till the stock hits the bottom, see a little bit of play at the bottom, and then jump in when I think the stock has some potential to move upward. I've been trying to catch the bounce, which is a lot harder to do, right? So that is, I guess, the biggest thing that I've started to notice and started to improve this week. So trying to catch those stocks at the bottom or close to the bottom, so I'm not getting a little bit of a delay. And I still have a delay on a couple stocks that I bought that went down a little bit more after I bought them, and that's the biggest thing to avoid. I want to catch the upward trend, and I think I'm going to leave the bounce alone for a little bit, and I'm going to look for stocks that have kind of already hit that where I think the bottom might be. That doesn't mean it can't drop further, but based on current information, I think potentially those stocks are at the low point. Anyway, so that is something I'm going to be a little bit more focused on going forward, so that I'm getting the quicker turnaround instead of holding stocks or buying them and then watching them drop more. All right, so that's it for discovering my dividends. My investment challenges are going well. I'm well ahead of where I want to be. Don't forget, hit subscribe and like to follow along, see how I'm doing. And of course, I do have a link for WealthSimple. That is the broker that I use for my trades. I get 0%, or have no fees, I should say, on my trades. They do charge fees on some things, so if you decide to use my link, make sure you find out if they're right for you. All right, thanks. Have a good day.